So 1.2 is on finding the measures of center, and that's largely mean, median, mode, which you've probably heard before. So our we can use mean, median, mode to describe data. We often say things like the average time, the average of something, or the most frequent answer was, things like that. Those are ways of representing those measures. So our definitions: mean is the average, which means we're going to add up all of our data values and then divide by however many there were. Median is the middle, but the big thing with median is you want to make sure you've arranged your data values in order. So generally we go from least to greatest, and then the middle value there is the median. And the mode is the one that occurs most often. So let's take a second and think about what the mean, median, and mode of this set of data would be. So here, can't see my notes. You've got, I think I just saw, if you add these all up and divide by 5, you get 86.2 for the mean. And our median is going to be 89 because that's the middle number. And mode here is going to be 90 because there are two values for 90. And then if we think about this, which one would you want your teacher to use? I'm guessing you would all pick the mode in this situation because it has the highest grade. And so really here we just want to think about, what does each measure of center represent, and which one makes sense in what we're doing, which one really shows us the center and what is typical. And think about the fact that sometimes you can use those to maybe represent data in a way that you want it to show something, even if it isn't what somebody else would say is typical. So I want you to take a moment. You are welcome to use a calculator to take this set of data, and I want you to find the measures of center. Remember, the measures of center are mean, median, and mode. Okay, so here are the values that you should have gotten. So to calculate the mean, you should have added all of these up and then divided by 16, because there were 16 data points, which would get you a value of 130.25, which we'll say about 130 people. The median, you should have put them in order and then found the middle. Now, in this case, you'd have two values that are right in the middle. So the median is halfway between them at 122. And then when we look at the data, the number that occurs the most is 121. So the mode of our data is 121 people. If we take that same data and we put it on a dot plot, we can see that way over here on the right, we have these two values that seem to be very, very different from the others. And those are called outliers. Later, we will explore how to calculate to see which ones are outliers. But for now, we're just going to look, and we can see that those ones are separate from the rest. And so we want to consider and think about what that does to our measures of center. So what I want you to do now is take this data, the same data we had before, but we're going to cross out our two outliers and recalculate the mean. Then figure out what the median would be, again, by taking out those two outliers, getting rid of 192 and 180. What is the median? And finally, taking away the 192 and the 180, calculate the mode, figure out the mode. And we see that when we do that, we get a mean of 122, a median of about 122, a median of 121, and the mode of 121. So our mode hasn't moved at all. The median changed a little bit, and the mean dropped quite a bit. We went from 130 to 122. And that's because those outliers pull the mean to that higher value because they're so much larger than everything else. Our mean ends up looking larger than it kind of should be. It wouldn't be a typical value. So that's one of the things that we really need to be careful about when we think about mean and what it represents, because any outliers, whether they're high or low, can cause the mean to be misleading.